It has been a minute, hasn't it? But we're back. We are back, gamers. Hope you guys are doing all right. And if you're not, man, that is all right. We're going to get started here very shortly. I'm just flipping through some of the pages of the Bible here, just reading myself. Want to get a good one for today, but we're going to be chilling here soon, playing some games, talking about life, talking about God, all the good things. But I hope you guys are doing all right, for real. I know we haven't live streaming a bit. Just had to take a little bit of a rest for myself. We got to take a pause in life, you know, and appreciate the good things. But I genuinely hope you guys are doing all right. We're going to get started here very shortly, gamers. Love you guys. Let's get started. Yes, sir. We back. The verse of the day. Before we get started, before we do anything, before we jump into video games, I always like to share a verse of the day just to give glory to God. I don't like really recognizing myself as much as who I believe to have created me. And the verse of the day is Psalm 8, verse 3 and 4. When I look at your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have set in the place, what is man that you are mindful of him, and the son of man that you care for him? Yet you have made him a little lower than the heavenly beings, and you crowned him with glory and honor. You might be watching this and you got like depression, maybe you don't even believe in God, and that's totally okay. We still got love for you on this channel. It's just something that helps me walk through my day-to-day with a little bit more faith and a little bit more joy. If you're watching this and you're someone that struggles with depression or you feel a general amounts of anxiety, I just pray for you. I pray that God reaches you, that you would feel relief through his presence. I feel relief through his presence when I pray to him and when I read the Bible. A lot of people talk about the Bible like it's like the worst thing ever. You ever notice that? People be like, it's inconsistent. And it's like, okay, have you ever read the Psalms? Just try to read some of those, man. Like, people have a lot of negative words for the Bible, but there's a lot of beautiful things you can find in there. Beautiful words to lift up the soul, you know? And that's like never bad. Like, people are so corny in today's day and age, man, because we have so much information, you know, we think we know everything. We think we're all like the fucking tits, but we're not. We're pretty awful, actually. A lot of us. And I mean, yeah, there's some good people out there, man, but for the most part, holy shit, we have just made a real mess of what we believe to be right. And that's why I like the Bible, man. These are beautiful stories about the redemption of people that felt like they weren't worthy. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing bad about reading that story. I mean, if you use it to harm other people, you use it to oppress other people, make them feel bad about themselves, yeah, maybe that's a bad thing. But that would just mean that the person using it for bad is bad, not the thing that they're using. So that's why I like to read ancient books. I like to, I don't know, man. It's really important, especially in today's day and age. The world is so weird, man. And I feel like, you know, this like age of like entertainment is kind of ending. We don't all need to be like entertained. We need to all be like loved. We need to be intimate with ourselves, intimate with our thoughts, and not be so like wrapped up in like just being numb all the time, you know. I don't know. I hope you guys are doing all right, man. I've been resting. I've been chilling. I've been spending some time away from the channel. Simply because, and let's go ahead and get the let's pull up that full screen. Let's get started here. People are like, "Where's Moonkid?" I'm right here. I had to grow my beard back. I was waiting for my beard to come back. I miss you guys. I hope you're doing all right. But we're just chatting today, dude. We're just chatting today, chat. I feel like we have a lot to talk about, man. I'm gonna be moving soon, which is amazing, by the way. That's like a phenomenal thing that I get to experience. The fact that I can live and breathe in a place that is safe, that's amazing. Yeah. Holy shit, that was really loud. RIP to headphone users. RIP to headphone users. But you know, a lot of things changing for me in my personal life, so that's just why I haven't had as much time to hop on here with y'all. But since I have that time today, I wanted to do that. And you know, not as much as play games as I just kind of wanted to chill. That's why we got Chill Cam on today. Let's hold on. Hey, man. There we go. Just had to. We had double chill cam text. We had to. We're doing dual output now. So if you're watching on Instagram, welcome. We we got that ability now. You know, we streaming on X. We're streaming on Insta, all that. And much love to everyone who's been following, supporting the channel. But I want to get back on here today, chat, because listen, we're gonna break out. We're gonna break out of these real quick. I think it's really important that we take a moment and just really appreciate what we have here. This channel, as I've iterated many times before, saved my life. Many times before I've iterated, and I will iterate again, that it is something that means a lot to me. But the thing that means the absolute most to me is my faith in God, and that is the most important thing in my life. And I've been trying to figure out a way to not just like integrate it into my channel, right? Because that feels disrespectful from my point of view. Like, if I'm gonna say that I believe in God, and I'm gonna say that it's something that, you know, is a part of my life, I don't want it to just be a small sliver of my life. I want it to be able to be an all-consuming thing, because it's what gives me life. And I think for a long time in my own personal life, I was very like ashamed. Like, I was very what's the word? How do you put it? Like, just embarrassed. Like, because I didn't want to be like one of those people that's like a Jesus freak, or to be one of those people that's like, you know, overtly Christian, you know, because I really don't appreciate religion and what religion has done to people's minds. But you know, what faith and relationship with God has done for my mind, it's revolutionized it more than this channel, more than having like thousands of followers. God is what matters for me. And a lot of people like ask me, and they'll you know, throughout my life, I've had people slam me with really hard questions, and I've never been afraid to answer. As a matter of fact, I enjoy hard questions so much that when I was 15, they had me in a hard questions panel at this conference, which was like, I'm 15. What am I doing here? But I really do have a heart for answering the harder questions about God for people. And I feel like instead of like spending hours and hours like gaming on games, like, yeah, I'm gonna game today, and you guys will probably see me game a little bit on this live stream. But I just wanted to make more space to talk, mostly for myself first, because, you know, if it's going to be a channel that's functioning, I think it has to function out of honesty and out of authenticity. And just recently for me in my own journey of life, like I feel like, you know, I've been going deeper in my relationship with God. I've been going deeper in my faith. I've been going deeper just in like in my mind, trying to find more of a balance in my identity and figure out what that is. And as I track through, as I kind of go through my life story, which at some point we'll make a video about, I realized the consistency in it is my love for God, and talking about God and making understanding of God through, you know, like modern framing. And this is not me like saying I'm quitting Moonkid, nothing like that, nothing crazy. It's just really more of an announcement that like my faith will be fully integrated into this channel, and that me talking about God and stories about Jesus is going to start becoming something that is more normal on this channel. And my apologies to anyone who followed me for more like, you know, violent Hitman content. Like, I do love Hitman, and that it's not being put to rest. Video games aren't being put to rest, but what I think I'm putting to rest here in this conversation, and the point really I'm just trying to make is kind of just like a declaration of my faith, and a declaration of honesty to anyone who's kind of following me more closely, you know, wondering what I'm about, wondering why I've been gone for like a week after, you know, announcing that I'd be live streaming more. I know that that's counterintuitive, and I do apologize to anyone who's been following me, waiting, hoping for that daily live stream. I've just realized how important it is to not just like make faith like an accessory in my life, but to rather bring it to the forefront and allow the beauty of that and the work that comes through that to inspire both myself and others to be more authentic. Because again, this isn't like a call to faith, like it's not like a call to the altar thing. This isn't like youth group camp or whatever, you know. But it is, again, it's like a declaration, because I feel like it's not authentic as for me as a creator to present myself in a way that I can't continue to grow, you know. I don't know if that makes sense, but a lot of this yapping to say I love you guys. I love the support that you guys have been giving me. And as a matter of fact, it's what's making this channel even a reality, is you guys clicking on these live streams, coming through, commenting on the shorts and all this stuff. But, you know, I've realized just in this week of taking a break how unimportant it is to be an icon, how unimportant it is to be recognized. Like, there's a whole world outside of me. There's a whole shocking to hear, right? But there's a whole world outside of my view of things and outside of what I could do to there's a whole world outside of entertainment, if that makes sense. And I love entertaining. I love entertainment, and I'm going to continue to do my best to present, you know, content that is, you know, good to consume. But for me, myself, and I think it's really important that as we continue these live streams, I make it abundantly clear that it will have a lot more, you know, faith talk, a lot more like talking about Bible verses. And I even encourage you guys, like, if you're watching this afterwards, or even if you're just watching this now, I encourage you guys to hit me with hard questions, especially if you're someone that doesn't believe in God. Like, I like actually having conversations with people that don't see from the same side as me, because then we can learn from one another. Like, I don't want to read about, you know, like another religion in a book. I want to go sit in their temple and understand their faith and their point of view, and respect that. You know, people don't just believe in stuff for nothing. And I think that that's the misconception a lot of people get about anybody who believes in God or Jesus, is that they immediately think, well, oh no, they're not gonna accept me now, and they're not gonna like doing this and this. It's like, no, I am the furthest from like a poster child for Christianity. Like, I still, you know, smoke weed. I still, you know, like look at porn and stuff. You know, it's like there's nothing I can say or do to try to make myself seem better. Like, I believe in God and Jesus because it's a call to be better, and it's like there's a grace present in that call to be better for me. And for a lot of my life, I just kind of like stayed in the same kind of space mentally, if that makes sense, and just kind of always doubted myself, you know, and always kind of just did things kind of like half kilts. But, you know, I'm kind of at that point in my life now, gamers, where, you know, I have to ask myself the grand question, right? Like, I have to ask myself, what is it that I want out of what I'm giving my time to, you know, because you got to live your life a little bit like this. If I'm just yapping and none of this is sticking, try to make sense of it like this. If at the end of the day today, if today was your last ever day, and you hit the pillow and you're like, all right, this is it. This is the last day. Would you be satisfied? And for me, you know, in this last week, I was hitting the pillow like, no, I'm not good, man. Like, the fundamentals of this channel, right, was like, be who you are. If you're all right, you know, we hope you're all right. And if you're not, that's all right. But I got to start creating that avenue for faith talk, because we talk philosophy, we talk ideas, but anybody that's smart enough to have read Dante's Inferno knows that the last circle of hell and the 9 circles of hell that it depicts in Dante's Inferno's book, that the last circle is all philosophers talking to each other, and the door is right there, and they're all like, what do you think the meaning of life is? The door to get out of hell is right there, and they're just stuck talking philosophy. So sometimes I try to not talk too much philosophy and really start talking faith, something that can go a little bit deeper, right? Because faith is something that can kind of heal the mind from all the effects of being inside of the body, and from all the effects of being these human beings doing human things, you know. Like, you realize how everything has a season, like fall, winter, spring, summer. Like, humans are the only organism with the audacity to think that we don't also come in seasons, bro. Like, our mind has a fall, winter, spring, summer, and depending on the habits that we choose, it'll cycle those seasons pretty quickly, you know what I'm saying? And as someone who like has experienced like addiction problems and all this stuff, like, this is, I don't judge nobody, bro. Like, let me just like make it abundantly clear. Like, if you're someone who's made it this far in the video and you're like, why, you know, this dude's yapping about religion, I want to make it abundantly clear that, like, if you're someone who's experienced hurt with, like, you know, religious people being mean to you or whatever, like, I feel you, bro, and you are totally like right to be angry, because like I've experienced too, and like I've been through some serious shit in my life to the point where I can't judge anybody, dude, because I dude, like, oh shit, damn, I'm floating on Instagram over here. I've been in places in my life, bro, where I've gone so low that I knew with all my heart that like I could get there again at any point, if that makes sense. Like, some people, they'll experience like being low in life, you know what I'm saying, and then they like chase after money so that they never have to be in that spot again, type shit. But nah, bro, I hit rock bottom in my life, and I was like, I could probably visit this hotel again. You know what I mean? Like, so from the point of rising up from rock bottom, have vowed to never judge other people, because I'm like, bro, I was there. Like, I'm like, bro, if they're making a choice that's bad for them, if they're living a life that's not fulfilling, if they're like depressed and they want to end and unalive their whole shit, I get it, bro. And like the worst part though, right, and the reason why a lot of people don't believe in God a lot of times is because like people who are like Christians or like believe in God, they'll have the full audacity when someone is going through some like real life shit to be like, just give it to God, bro. Or like, you know, like they'll say some like anecdotal shit, and I know I do that sometimes too, low-key, by accident. Like, I just be saying like, oh, just be grateful, which is kind of true. But like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. Christians make it really easy to hate God because they misrepresent him all the time. Like, I didn't really want to have a relationship with God or like faith at all until I actually understood it outside of the context of religion, if that makes sense. Like, there's no point of being religious if you're not loving towards yourself and everyone around you, and if they can't feel that. Not that you're supposed to be like perfect, but I don't know. I just kind of wanted to come to the defense of anyone who does feel apprehensive about it, and just know that like I get it, number one, and number two, if you're a fan of mine and you're like overtly anti-Christian, like, I don't judge you for that, because at one point in my life I was also. So I don't, I also don't think that I'm better than you because I'm on a different path now. I just know my experience, and I know where that path was going for me, trying to choose my version of right and wrong, and it almost killed me. Like, dude, and again, I'll take a whole live one day and just like I'll chill with you guys and tell you my life story and shit. But for the most part, bro, a lot of my story is like me being handed the perfect opportunity and just me being like, yeah, whatever, like, you know, just fucking it up. I would fuck everything up. At the cost of my depression, you know what I mean? Or excuse me, with my depression at the helm, really, is what that always was. But this last week, man, I just feel like I'm redefining what Moonkid really is, because I love making you guys laugh, and I'm going to continue to do that. This is more of a serious live, so if you're coming to this live, or if you're watching this while eating your food for YouTube, this is not going to be the regular Moonkid live today. This is we're really just chatting today. This is Tuesdays with Moonkid. Maybe this will be a new thing, but much love to everyone who's watching this right now. I know a lot of my viewers don't always engage in the chat, and that's totally fine. I love you guys, but again, feel free to hit me with any and all like crazy deep questions, because I love those. But I also, again, I want this channel to be a space that doesn't just represent the glorification of me. Like, in my personal belief, I believe that God gave me gifts so that I could share with you guys. It's not about me. Like, in my personal belief, God doesn't give us gifts so we can be like, hey guys, look at me and my gifts. Isn't it so awesome? He gives us gifts so that I can be like, hey guys, be blessed by this, right? So I really dude, like seriously, I despise the idea of this channel or this brand representing anything other than freedom to come to God and freedom to like return to yourself as well. You know what I mean? Like, the world has a lot of demands of you and a lot of like requirements of you, and some of those are necessary and some of those you just can't avoid. But I almost want this channel to be like a pit stop where you can be like, wait, whoa, like, all right, you know, because it's like, I know maybe for someone who's like, just listening audibly, that made no sense. I want this channel to represent just freedom, because there's a freedom that I feel when I pray to God, right? Because like our speech is so restricted by ourselves. Like, people like to complain about other people restricting their speech. We're not talking politics. I'm saying the restriction we put on ourselves. Like, bro, like, the reason why the Bible is like radically important to me is because if I'm really, really depressed, bro, I'll go and read Psalm 51, which is written by a man, where it says, have mercy on me, O God, according to your steadfast love, according to your abundant mercy. Blot out my transgressions, wash me thoroughly from my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I know my transgressions. Transgressions just means like stuff that you've done. And my mistakes are ever before me. Dude, like, if I read that, like, nobody talks like that anymore, right? But like, if I read that, I'm recognizing that another man in his mind was so like overwhelmed by the weight of his own mistakes that he wrote a poem to God being like, help me with my weaknesses. That is profoundly like liberating for me, right? So that's the experience that I get when I read the Bible, is like it's a liberating revelation of my suffering, that it's been experienced and will continue to be experienced throughout the world. So this channel, in a sense, I want to have it do that same thing for people. Like, I want this channel to feel like a break from all like the constant chatter, dude. Like, the world is filled with so much chatter, dude. Like, it's really strange, like, when you take a step back from it, like how it's like so compact with information where you can't even like, I don't know, man. There's not a lot of consistency. Like, that's my as a I don't consider myself an intellectual at all, or like a philosopher. Like, I am not a student. I was terrible at school. I'm just someone that like likes to is very curious, honestly, and I need things to make sense. Like, sometimes, like, honestly, I was a huge skeptic of like faith and religion for a long time. But do you ever realize how like logically people will always tell you, like, the Bible's inconsistent, like it was written by man, but then like everything else we listen to is inconsistent. Everything else we listen to is made up by people that are, and I'm sorry, way less intentional and like pure-hearted than people who were probably like 1,000, 2,000 years ago, because those people weren't being bombarded by the ideas of like capitalism and trying to like sell their brand. Like things like honor don't exist anymore. Like things like being sacred, like nothing's sacred anymore because everything can be sold. Like everything's an asset now. Like if you're good at talking, or if you're good at doing this, people are like, well, you should do this. You should market that. And it's like, dude, this is why people are so depressed, because we've literally convinced ourselves that everything we do is like this. We have to make profit or it's useless. That like we've literally convinced ourselves that if it's not making money, that it's useless. Which is fine if that's the type of person that you are. If you're watching this and money is your motive, you know, cash rules everything around you, great. Wu-Tang. However, I would challenge that by asking, would you still think that way if everybody that you loved was gone the next day after receiving all the money that you've ever needed? It's just a question. I'm not trying to do anything here. I'm just saying, it's just a real question. Ask yourself in your heart, if you got all the money in the world that you wanted, since money's so important to you, but all the people you love and care about gone, disappeared, would it still matter? That's the question. That's all I'm going to ask. Because for me, I find a radical value in attributing my identity to things that aren't tangible. Because it can all just go away, dude. Like, it can all just go away. Dude, have celebrities shown you nothing else other than the proof that you could become the greatest at something and have your whole life, work, and legacy be tarnished by someone's opinion? Please hear what I'm saying by that. Like, this is why I've taken past 7 days. 7? I've taken the past 7 days to kind of center myself and be like, yo, what is Moonkid? As much of a goofball as I am, and I will always be a fucking goofball, you can't stop me. It's how God made me. As much as I love video games, and you won't stop me, I'm gonna still play video games. We're probably gonna be playing Amazing Spider-Man 2 today, just because I'm in the mood. As much as I love, like I would always get high, bro. Like I would smoke weed. Like, I used to fool around all the time. Like, people that know me know this. And bro, like I had the life where I did everything that I wanted to do outside of God, but it didn't do anything for me. Yeah, I got 2 pairs of glasses on. What you can do about it? I got 2 glasses. They call me 4 Eyes down at the rec center because I got so many. All right, I'm sorry. Let me put it this way. If Moonkid is anything, Moonkid is a child of the light that shines in the darkness, just much like the moon itself. A lot of us have removed from ourselves the permission to be poetic, the permission to be beautiful, because we fear that, you know, going deep is cringe, or we feel that like being who we are is cringe. Whoever told you to mute yourself so that they could feel in control of you, I break that off you, bro. You can be who you are and feel, learn the art of embarrassment, bro. You're gonna have times, no matter how confident you are of yourself. I promise you, no matter how confident you are at yourself, you are going to look back 6 months from now, a year from now, and be like, that wasn't the move. Because we're always growing, bro. So like, be willing to be embarrassed, but like, more than that, be willing to like embarrass yourself for the sake of your own poetry. And what I mean by that is, when we don't let the pain sit under the rug and we go after it and we talk about things, the pain turns into poetry, is what I'm saying. And it's a lot of boxes that people want to put you in, and they will put you in boxes. And that was my problem with starting this channel, man. I was like, you know, I love video games, but I don't want it to be all about video games, man. Because like, anybody that's a gamer like myself can attest to the fact that there's a certain point you get to with video games where you're just so depressed that not even video games help you. And that's because anything other than Jesus, in my opinion, makes a really shitty God. Like, in my opinion, God gave us the grace of being alive and having all these things like video games and movies and like love and like all these cool things that we can get. They're all grace. They're all graces that we get as a result of being created by a merciful God. But then like, when we make those things the most important thing, or like the thing, then like it kind of just falls flat in the moments when we really need something to fulfill our souls and like fill our like longing to be seen and heard and felt and reached for. Like, these are all longings that have never gone away and will never go away. Dude, this is why I read the Bible, because when I read it and I'm like, holy shit, people had the same longings as I do, and they had the same frustrations with God that I do. There's a whole book in the Bible where someone's yelling at God, dude. They are yelling at God. They're like, where were you, bro? That's in the Bible. Bro, it's in there. And that's what's crazy, is people will be like, it's mad inconsistent, bro, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'll sit down with you. If you one of those folks, message me, and we gonna have a conversation, because I want to intellectually sit with you, because again, I'm not an intellectual. I want to hear from y'all intellectuals about what you find so inconsistent, and I want to actually talk, because for me, I find the consistency is what matters for me. And the consistency, namely, is the consistency of the longing of humanity throughout all of time, from generation after generation, and the faithfulness of God inside of that. You can't deny it, bro. And for me, gamers, I fucked my life up years ago. Like, I fucked my life up, dude. And anybody that knew me when I was living on Lake Street, I fucked my life up years ago. And there was not a chance in hell that the guy who fucked it up was going to be the guy that fixed it. I ended up praying to God one day and was just like, yo, I can't do this. I need you. And dude, not even a year later, dude, I wake up and I'm looking at the ocean. I have a beautiful like partner who loves me and cares for me. Dude, I could I could cry right now, man. Like, but that's the thing, is like, it didn't all just happen in a day. Like, I had to keep following through like the wilderness of my own life of uncertainty and all this stuff. But then after a little while, man, God really came through for me. And that's why I feel like it's so inappropriate for me to do this channel without having it fully integrated, my faith in God fully integrated. It feels like a disservice to y'all as my fans to not know who I truly am. It's a disservice to me as a creator to not tap in to what I'm truly passionate about. So that's why I want to get on here, y'all. Like, truly, I wanted to get on and yap for real. Because I think when we yap about the things that's personal, like, anybody that doesn't like it, it's almost like you're sorting out the wheat. You're sifting out the wheat a little bit, right? Because like, if someone were watching this and they was like, oh man, it's stupid, good, that means that it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? And this is how, even if you're a creator and you're watching this, how you yourself can tap into that fulfillment. Because your art won't fulfill you until you realize why you think art's gonna fulfill you. You gotta really tap in. to you. And I know it sounds like a lot of cliches, like a lot of fucking like alpha podcast cliche shit. But this is based on what I'm telling you in my own experience, that I came from a life of like doing whatever I wanted, and then eventually and slowly but surely have been coming back to God, getting back in my relationship with him and my faith. And because of that, the result of that, the fruit of that has been far greater than anything else, bro. Like, weed never got me nowhere. Sleeping with all them women never got me nowhere. Like, all my pride in my identity and, oh, I'm the best, blah, 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 I'm a rapper, but like, none of that never got me nowhere, bro. It did nothing for me except create torment in my mind that I had to let God heal. And I think that a lot of us, bro, especially y'all men, and I'm talking to y'all, if you watching this, bro, I'm talking to you right now. Don't play with me, bro. A lot of y'all be so depressed, bro, that you believe that unaliving yourself is the only answer to relieve that. Like, stop with that, bro. Stop with that right now. Because, bro, this is where I was at. I was telling myself the best option was unaliving myself. Bro, it's another option you ain't even thought about, and that's just giving it away. And maybe it's cringe to all the homies, but putting your faith in God, bro. Picking up, I swear to God, man, picking up the phone and being like, maybe I shouldn't swear to God, but for real, if you watching this, bro, and you depressed, I pray for you right now, man. I pray for you. I pray God relieves that depression, that he takes that off you, bro. Because, like, why is it more acceptable for us to unalive ourselves than to pick up the Bible, bro, and try to believe? And yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, why would I believe in God? Like, he never done nothing for me. Well, why would I believe in that me not being here is the best option? Because it's not. I promise you it's not. You got a whole life ahead of you, bro. And if you're just going to give up on your life because of that pressure, bro, I promise you it's not the answer. I promise you it's not. And a lot of my followers, a lot of my subscribers, y'all be dealing with depression. I know y'all like me probably, and you be suffering in silence. Don't be doing that, man. Don't be doing that. That's why I'm getting heated, and I'm not even gonna apologize for it, because I really think this might even just be for one person. And if it's just for one person, then like, that's God's will, so be it. There could be nobody that watches this. It could just be one person, and it'd be worth it. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I feel like this channel needs to start being a whole lot less about me and about like what I can do, what I can say, what I can like I want to give God's words to y'all, and not like God's words in the way that like if I think it's that way. I'm saying, like, I want to give y'all relief, the relief that I have when I think about the things that I think about. Because if you're gonna follow me and subscribe to me, you're gonna hear what I'm thinking, and I want to also not just present it like unbiasedly. Like, I want to present it honestly and be like, this is what I think, this is how I think, but I also recognize that other people can think in a way that's contrary to that, and that doesn't devalue those people. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I believe something strongly doesn't devalue someone who disagrees with me. It actually increases the importance of that person, if that makes sense. Like, and I think a lot of y'all got disagreement and conversation all kinds of fucked up. Like, we all need therapy. After 2020, bro, everybody and they fucking mama needs therapy, bro. Because I see y'all interacting online. I see the way y'all be interacting and look at, I pay attention, man. I feel like I've been watching for years, just like the progression of psychology throughout all of social media, and it is very interesting. The lack, you know what, I'm not even gonna talk about the lack. Let's talk about this. No, we're gonna talk about the lack. The lack of the culture of humility, bro. The lack of the culture of humility in everything we do. Yo, we got Ty V. What it do, bro? Thanks for joining, bro. We're just we just chatting today. I'm talking about faith, man. I'm talking about, life, my belief in God, all that, bro. So, oh shit. I hope you're doing all right, bro, for real. 100 XP for joining the stream. You know what it is. Hope you're doing all right, man. If you're not, that's all right. And if you got any questions today, we doing a live Q&A. If y'all got hard questions like why does God let bad things happen, hit me with them questions, bro. Hit me with them questions for real in the chat, because I want to hear from y'all what y'all thinking and how y'all framing the world, and I want to see how we can come to an understanding on that. You know what I'm saying? When I was younger, I watched a lot of Star Wars, bro. And Star Wars helped me understand the frame of the world pretty well. It helped me understand, number one, that there's going to always be a calling on each and every one of us that we have to choose whether or not we want to participate in. Number two, it taught me that there is a good and there is a side, and then there is a good side, and that each of us will have to choose a side at one point. It taught me another thing, that people in power aren't always going to have our best interests in mind. Senator Palpatine was very masterful in making sure that they didn't know he was Darth Sidious, but yet they still elected him to have the ultimate powers at the end. So Star Wars actually taught me something very brilliant when I was a young 8-year-old child, that I got to choose a side at some point. And I think in the world, yo, listen, if you watching this, the world feels strange to you, everything kind of feeling a little weird lately, it's because it is. That's all I'm gonna say. There's not much more to say other than confirming what a lot of people have been feeling and seeing. I don't think that Moonkid needs to be anything other than a child of the light that shines in the darkness. So that's what this channel's gonna be and what it's gonna remain to be. And I think anybody who's followed me up until this point will know that this is not inconsistent of me, that this is not like a change of me to all of a sudden come out here and start talking about God. I just realized within the past week for myself that it was a disservice to myself and others to not talk openly about God. Like, what's the point? Because so many people, listen, there are so many people that talk so much shit on the Bible and God, but they got no information. They have no information. They just got echo chambers of, well, it's inconsistent. It was written by, show me then. Do your research and show me the inconsistencies. And it wasn't until, listen, again, I'm not an intellectual, I'm not a scholar, but I have a very good friend who is a Buddhist, by the way, that taught me, bro, you need to go read your own Bible. It's a phenomenal book. And there's a lot of people with ill intentions and zero information that'll try to convince you shouldn't even touch it because it's inconsistent. Look at your fucking For You page on TikTok. Is that inconsistent? You know how much inconsistent information you've been shoving into your brain? Come on, y'all. Come on. Don't fool with me, bro. Don't fool with me. You said you doing good. Gaming chairs came in today. Oh, shit. That's what's up, bro. We got to celebrate that. We got to celebrate that, especially because you're a father. We got to celebrate when fathers have things to celebrate. If you have friends and they got something they want to celebrate that with them, yo. Let's not be here's a lot of people on the internet be talking about cringe. Here's what's fucking cringe: not celebrating those around you. Are you gonna get to the end of your life and be like, I'm so glad I had the funniest comments in the comment section? Shut the fuck up. Celebrate people, bro. Celebrate people. Ty V, we celebrate you today. We appreciate you joining the stream. And we're glad that your gaming chair came in, bro. You know, my whole setup is kind of indicative of God's love for me, right? Because, bro, I was lonely. I was afraid. I was scared. I had nobody in my life. But then my woman came along, my beautiful fiance, bro. She actually built most of this stuff that I'm sitting on right now. She got me this chair. She got me the PS5 after my Xbox had shit the bed. And that's why I don't like I can never sit in the, this is why y'all remember my gratitude video that I put out a couple weeks ago. This is why gratitude is so important, my dog. How could I sit in the middle of this without being grateful to God, bro? Like, he didn't introduce my girl to me, like he didn't bring us together, like he didn't give us the means to be able to buy this and have this. Like, bro, come on, bro. There's layers to this shit, man. There's layers to this life, man. And if you can learn, and this is what I'm saying, bro, a lot of Christians demonize, and a lot of religions demonize things that God actually has given us as grace and as gifts. Like, it's not demonic to play video games. It's not demonic to like shit that you like, bro. Like, that is a gift from God. And this is exactly what Jesus means, bro, when he's like, seek first the kingdom of God. Because he's saying that everything is enveloped in God. And when we realize that, it actually causes us to be more thankful, and it causes us to draw wealth out of the well of life instead of constantly feeling like empty. And listen, yo, I know I'm talking to someone directly right now. And I don't even care, bro. Like I said, this could be for one person. If this went out and only one person watched this, even when I done posted it on YouTube or whatever, and I had one view, bro, I promise you I will keep it up there. And you want to know why? Because this could just be for one person that they might need to hear this today. This is why God's so important. Because the more that I read stories about people that gave their life to be convicted by the truth, boy, it makes me realize how much I've wasted my life being convicted in fear of what others would think about me, of how others would feel about me, about how they would receive the truth in me. Bro, check it out. Check this real quick. Pontius Pilate was a real historical figure. We won't talk about Jesus. Let's talk about Pontius Pilate. All right? This man had a position in Rome. Okay, he was overseeing a certain section of Israel at the time, making sure that everybody in line. You feel me? He had duties, he had responsibilities, he had convictions to Rome, and they were rightfully so. They were paying his bills. They got the whole house from him, got the robe and the the armor, all that shit. But then they bring this rogue preacher to him, whom legally he finds no reason to accuse to death. But his own people are like, kill this motherfucker. And he looks at the man who's being accused. He's like, hey, bro, you know that I have the ability to free you. Like, what do you want me to do? And the guy looks at him, he says, I'm being handed over by someone who has greater authority than you. And Pontius sits back and he's like, someone has more authority than me? Well, shit. Well, damn. And he's not afraid of me, so what the fuck? Well, okay. And that question made him question what his truth was. And then this is a real historical conversation that we can have, that we can talk about. But this was a conversation between Pontius Pilate and his wife. And he goes, what's the truth? And how do you know it when you hear it? Because my truth is that if I don't do this, Caesar will have my head. So I will wash my hands of this. Because he didn't even want to think about it. That's where we get the phrase, I wash my hands of this, is from Pontius Pilate. Because he was so stressed about the decision to have to crucify Jesus, and how weird it was, and how much it didn't add up, that he didn't even want to hear the truth. So sometimes we block out the truth. We block it out because we're like, man, I realize how heavy it is that I haven't been listening to it the whole time. And there's a lot of you who've been listening for your whole life to a different version of your identity, to a different version of what's going to fulfill you. You've been hearing people tell you, do this and you'll feel better, and just nothing makes it better. And I don't think until we create an environment where we can relieve ourselves of expectation, of title, of whatever it is, really, desire for fame, we relieve ourselves from all those things, and we vulnerably approach ourselves and say, who do I want to be? What do I want to be? And what do I want to do with the time that I have left? I love entertainment. I love comedy. I love video games. I love all of this that we've done with the channel, the hanging out, the platform to be goofy. But like this past week, y'all, I have been so filled with apathy towards entertainment. I don't know if you can relate with me here, and if you're not, that's okay. Maybe you can catch back up with me in a couple minutes, but like I'll watch stuff, man, and I'm like, this feels so fucking pointless. Like it and maybe it's my depression. Maybe it's just me. I could just be projecting my depression onto everything. But I feel like, man, as human beings, we need so much more than what we're being offered. We've been told that God's a lie, but everything else, is cool. But then everything else in the world, and realize just how evil it is. Like, we rejected God, right? And then now we're at this point in the world where you can go on TikTok anywhere and just discover how evil the world is. And then kind of feel this numbness of like, well, what do I do? What can I do? There's nothing I can do. I'm just a person, so I'll just fall back into numbing myself with the system that was created by the evil that scares me. And that's a really sad place to be in. See, I'm someone that I refuse to be afraid. Yes, I have anxiety, and there's times when I will be scared, but I refuse to remain. Here, I'll say it like this: I refuse to remain afraid. So when I encounter things and people tell me things about evil in the world, or they'll show me awful things, well, how could this exist and God be real? People always do that. You know what? I wasn't even going to dive into this today unless someone asked me, but we're going to do it. People always do this. If God is so good, why does he let bad things happen? Let's name the things. Let's name the things, because we're always just saying the things. God is so good. Why does he let bad things? What things? What things? Because if we're talking about things that have been done to you, and you're still here to ask the question, then you've been given a power to overcome and walk through those things to still be here today. If we're talking about the things that haven't happened to you, then we do not have the authority to speak on them. I can speak on what's happened to me, and I'll tell you this: there's been some bad things that have happened to me, and there's been some bad things that I have done. And why has God allowed those things to happen? Because he is so good that no matter how bad those things are, he will shine right through them, baby. And you better fucking believe this, that there's no thing that's bad enough that's gonna ever outshine the good. And that's the thing. People will always say, if God is so good, why does he let bad things happen? What things? And if the second we can name the things, then we can talk about them. Don't be talking about things ambiguously. People always bring up random shit, making up characters. Well, what about, the babies that... What has happened to you? What are the things that have happened to you that we can discuss as to why God let those things happen? And let's discuss them. And you might wonder, like, damn, nigga, like, why are you so abrasive? Here's why. Because you've been sold a lie with that question. And the lie is that God is not good enough to make the bad things good for you. And there is nothing bad or nothing that will produce suffering that won't also produce greatness. Like, guys, this is my biggest problem. I'm getting heated up here. If you're asking the question, why does God let bad things happen if he exists, you're completely missing the philosophical crux of the conversation. which is namely, what is the bad thing? And how can we dive into it? Because a non-Christian Chinese proverb would tell you there's nothing that's bad or good. Things just are. It just is. The way that God appeared to Moses and said, I am. If God is outside of time and outside of the consciousness of experiencing bad or good, then he can take a bad thing and make it the greatest thing that ever happened to you because it pushed you into needing the strength to become someone completely different. Someone that overcomes the impossible. Like, it is so bullshit to me. Like, let's just name it, bro. Let's just go ahead and name it. A very bad thing is rape. We can all agree that that is the worst thing. It's not funny. It'll never be funny. It'll never be good. It'll never be excusable. And if that's something that's happened to you, I'll tell you this, just so you're not alone, it's happened to me too. And you're not alone in that shame. You're not alone in that guilt, and you're not alone in that pain. And this is why I'm so passionate about it, bro. I was assaulted as a young boy, and the world does not care about young boys or men being assaulted. I'll tell you that right now. But God does. God cares heavily about that. And it is bullshit to me, to anyone that has been in a situation of that caliber or worse or whatever, of any type of hurt. It is bullshit to say that because that happened, that God doesn't exist. Guess what? God exists because that happened and I'm still here. I tried to unalive myself, y'all. I tried to live years of just hurting my body and all this stuff, but I'm still here because God was like, nah, you're one of mine. So that's why I can't back down from talking about my faith. I can't back down from talking about God, because at the end of the day, there is a light and a love that shines through this pain and through this darkness that'll never be defeated, bro. It can't be defeated. And that's where my disposition comes in. I don't believe that I don't believe that anybody should be shamed away from God. And like, Christianity has done a phenomenal job of ruining a lot of people's perception of God, and just trying to say, well, like, oh, well, go, you got to forgive, the people that hurt you, and God forgives you. Like, no, stop with all that candy BS. No, we're here to talk about the fact that if bad things have truly happened to you, I promise you this, brother or sister, or whoever's watching this, you put your faith in God, bro. Jesus says it takes faith the size this small to move mountains. Okay? And I got faith the size of a mountain, so imagine what that'll move. Okay? Nothing you go through is pointless. I know Nietzsche's philosophy of nihilism is a brilliant one, but it has ruined the mental health of a lot of young people. Because they miss the second half of that philosophy, where if everything means nothing, then that means everything in your immediate vicinity is everything. You don't have to do the book report. I just did it for you. See, that's my problem. Like, I'm not an intellectual, but I just, through a couple of Google searches, you'll find that a lot of the shit people are saying or basing their philosophy on is half-read. It's half-read, echo-chambered bullshit that has no depth of knowledge, no basis in any form of reality other than what other people have iterated to them. And that's why a lot of people have been, in my opinion, correctly swayed from the Christian God, because it's not the real God. You want to talk about a God that's like defeated by people's free will? Like, what? No, guys. The God I believe in is completely sovereign over all aspects of the universe. The God I believe in is so smart that he didn't just create a bird. He created the environment for the bird to thrive and the molecular structure for the bird to materialize. like see a lot of Christians and people, they renounce science. It's like, no, science is actually just the proof of God on paper. Like nigga, you telling me you could go make a neutron star? You want to go explain to me how the process of how you would start that? God did that on a Tuesday when he was bored. It's just my opinion. And then in the Bible, it even says that down to the hands that nailed in Jesus's hands to the cross, God did that because he was like, this is going to be something that shoots across time as a message to be who you are regardless of what they say. Because ain't nobody told Jesus he was the Son of God except him. And if you don't believe in him, the best message you can get from his story is be who you are, because they're going to try to kill you for it at some point. Ask anybody that's famous, who's given a life of service and entertainment to the world just to be on a mattress commercial. Hey, everybody, come buy my mattresses. Remember my legacy? Remember when I did that? If Michael Jackson was still alive today, yo, bro. If Michael Jackson was still alive today, or Jimi Hendrix, or any of these motherfuckers, you know what they'd be doing right now? Taco Bell commercials. I don't care what illusion of greatness has been handed to you in the form of an Instagram reel, motherfucker. There is no height you can ascend to in this world that'll satisfy you. I promise you. I promise you. And you don't have to believe me. Go ahead. You can hop off this, man. Fuck Moonkid. He don't know what he talking about. He don't even have followers. He don't even know what it's like to be famous. He don't know what it's like to have clout. Go ahead. Follow that dream. And when you get back from it, let me know how you doing. Let me know how you doing with all that clout. With all that fame, bro. You can't get the love that you need from people that don't know you. And you're never going to get the approval that you seek from people that can't see you, because you're not even revealing who you are. How you gonna be loved by a bunch of people that can't see you? That's like if I were to be like, hey, everybody, I want you to love and appreciate this man right here. Like, no, bro, stop. No, you ain't gonna do that. And I'm gonna tell you why you ain't gonna do that. Because you are gonna need to see what's going on to be able to understand it. So if you create a persona for people to gather around, good job. You've created a whole nother person for them to love. So when you're experiencing real life and you're having real problems, they're not going to gather around you. They'll gather around the old you, the other you. What happened I like when they was doing that. Word to me, 2024 is the year that entertainment dies. Not as a whole, but as we knew it. God is my witness. People are not going to, and I mean, you're always going to have people that want to be numbed and satiated by the same old stupid shit all the time, same old yada, yada, yada. But there is going to get to a point as humanity where we will hunger and long so deeply that these things that we've made to be God will slowly fall away. Slowly, one by one. You just wait. And again, I really don't care if you watching this and he's yapping. I don't care. There could be one person out there who's been feeling lonely as fuck that feels reached through what I'm saying. And if that's you and you're watching this, I love you, bro. If you're watching this and you've been struggling with depression, first of all, fuck that depression. I love you. God loves you. And I don't care. Skeptics, how you gonna say you love someone you don't know him? I love you because if you felt abandoned and alone, then I know you. Straight up. Straight up. If you felt abandoned at any point in your life, if you felt scared at any point in your life, then I know you. I know you. Ovo XO, thanks for joining the stream, bro. We are just chilling today, bro. I hope you're doing all right, man. But if you're not, that's all right. This channel is a safe space to talk about faith, to talk about life, talk about problems. If there's any questions, like I said earlier in the live stream, but I'll reiterate it now for anyone joining. If you got questions about God, about faith, just about anything in general, feel free to send them questions my way. We just chilling today. It's kind of a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been doing a lot of just talking and yapping, but I've been talking about my faith. You know, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus and all that. And I don't want anybody who differs from opinion to feel ashamed either. Like, you're welcome here, bro. It's like I said, if you felt ashamed or depressed in your life, then we know one another, and we can't pretend like we don't. That's the thing, man. Like, a lot of entertainment has built up a society where our value in entertainment has been how quickly we can consume that which is given to us. But we got to start learning, y'all, to consume things not so much as to contemplate them. Like, contemplate things. Ask yourself why you always go to this particular type of thing, or why you always are attracted to this. But try to really get into a good word for it is ponder. We don't do a lot of pondering in today's society. We do a lot of like gimme, and a lot of consume. But you do that enough, and pretty soon there's nothing left to consume. You're at the bottom of the barrel with this shit. And that's kind of how we are with entertainment, bro. Like, look at it, bro. I dare you. Okay, this is the quickest way to prove that what I'm saying is real. I want you to take the next 5 minutes, look through your For You page on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, and you tell me, out of all the stuff that you saw there, which one of those things is helping grow your immediate future? You could tell me, what, hey, Moon, can I follow this inspiration? But no. What, besides just watching what they say, what is that doing for you and producing in your life other than wasted time? And you might be saying, well, I'm wasting my time watching y'all. Click off you. Fuck you then, Moonkid. That's fine. That's fine. Hey, no hate here, brother. But what I'm saying is, contemplate what I'm watching producing for me. And if it's just a general sense of comfort and a calming sense of control over your stream of thought, then you need to start doing something else, bro. You need to start consuming something that's like, you need to start reading books or listening to books. If maybe you're someone like me, you can't take the time to read it visually, you got to listen to it. I do audiobooks. But this is why, bro. This is why I go to this. This is why I read the Bible, bro, straight up. It's not so I can beat it over someone's head and be like, you sinner, like that. There's no value in that. There's no value in that. But when I'm having anxiety, when I'm depressed and like longing to be seen and heard and there's no one around me, and I read in Psalm 91, he who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. That's comforting, bro. That's comforting. Like, that's what I'm saying is, what is it producing for you? What is it doing? And like, that's the thing, is someone could say, well, that's stupid, bro. The Bible's written by other people. Your content is made by other people. Your content, bro. Do you see how foolish our wisdom in the world is? We'll deny the Bible because it's written by men and then go watch some skibbity fucking... Get the fuck out my face with that foolishness, bro. And I'm not trying to like say I'm better than you because I read the Bible. What I'm saying is, I spent years numb and depressed and anxious. And all I was fucking doing was scrolling, looking at porn, all this stuff. And I'm not saying, bro, I'm not saying I'm better than you or that you're a bad person if you do those things. I'm saying that if you do those things, you're probably in the same mental space that I was. And there was some days, yeah, I could ride through, I could coast, but that's mostly the coasting was the best I could do. And I felt stuck. I felt tired. I would sleep all day and get high all night, and nothing felt good anymore, bro. And like, I promise you, if you're watching this, you want to start going down the road of smoking and drinking, like, do what you feel is right. But I'm telling you, it wasn't right for me, bro. It got me a life of hurt, bro. It got me a life of hurt and a life of having to keep drinking so I could forget the mistakes I made while I was drinking. You heard me? Be careful, bro. And you got to be careful, bro, because again, we get influenced away from the Bible, talking about how it's inconsistent, just to go towards someone else who's just as inconsistent. It has no right intentions for you. You couldn't really tell me this. I'm going to go ahead and read the Bible right here. 1,000 may fall at your side. This is Psalm 91. 1,000 may fall at your side, 10,000 at your right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only look with your eyes and see the recompense of the wicked, which means how people are being repaid for their evil deeds. That's just two sentences I was reading, and that fills my mind with wonder, with questions, and with a comfort of like, yo, God is so sovereign that he's telling me that if I put my faith in him, he'll surround me in safety. Even if that's not true, you telling me that's a bad thing to think about? Fuck out of here, nigga. Fuck out of here, bro. This is what I'm saying, bro, is we get tricked out here, bro. They be tricking you, talking about, you don't want to read the Bible, bro. That's a bunch of inconsistent shit, bro. It don't be lining up. All their stories be different. But how could we tell it's true? How can I tell what you saying is true? Half of these motherfuckers is drugged out, high off their ass, trying to find meaning and trying to find money out of the meaning you get from what they saying. Do you think any of these motherfuckers getting paid for what they're talking about or what they're doing would still be talking about it if they weren't getting paid? Think about that. And this is why, again, y'all, I be putting my value in this. I don't care if you think it's corny. Yo, one of my best friends, niggas like a Satanist or whatever, he's in a cult. I still love him. He probably won't watch this because he's like, man, this is how, this ain't my thing. But guess what? My ability to love someone that disagrees with me and even sometimes makes fun of me comes from this book. It's a value that Jesus said. He said, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. For what value was it to only love those who love you? I wouldn't have ever heard that if it wasn't from Jesus, bro. And there's a bunch of people who sit there and say, well, Buddha said that too. Well, are they practicing it? Because that's all that matters, bro. For real. That's why I don't judge nobody if they believe different than me, but I do judge people that be hating on what I believe that don't have no basis in the truth. And then they couldn't go sit and scroll at 6 years old and got baptized, who's like, let me tell you the truth. Like, nah, bro, I really was in the depths. I worked for a satanic clothing store. I was having threesomes. I was at a point where I had no bitches, but I had a point where I was getting bitches. Like, forgive me, Lord, for using the word bitches, but like, straight up, bro, like, I have experienced enough in my life. I went through 25 years of doing whatever the fuck I wanted to, bro. And I can tell you right now, feel free, but know that it's not going to fulfill you, bro. It would. Let me calm down. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. But this is why I wanted to come on the live today and express the trajectory we're taking this channel. Yes, I'm still going to play games. God is so gracious, bro, that he let us be alive in a time where there's video games. Praise God for real for video games. I love games. But more than just playing games, bro. I ain't really playing games with y'all when I say that I believe in God and my faith in God and my relationship with him saved my life. So it's a disservice to y'all and it's a disservice to me if I don't continue to talk about it on this channel. So many people, bro, so many people And this is why I'm saying, y'all, you need to start contemplating what you're watching, bro. Because so many people will sit and scroll. And I'm saying this as someone who would do this. Scrolling, hoping for an answer, bro. Hoping that something's going to just pop up and make you feel right for just a moment. Bro, there's so many times where I'm sitting, I'm scrolling. I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking for, bro. I'm just trying to, and honestly, the times when I pause is when I feel seen by what they're saying. If I see somebody and I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree with what he's saying. But I want to also create an environment too where I'm like, how can we learn how to see something we don't agree with or see something that makes us think and really go, let me think. Instead of being like, let me, like, nah, bro. There is so much, as someone who experiences depression, bro, there is so much wealth to our life when we take the time and the patience to contemplate it. I'm so serious about this, bro. Check this out. Jeff agrees with me on this. That's Jeff Goldblum. He agrees with me on this. Bro, there is no conceivable way in hell or on heaven or on earth that you thought up the system that's running your body right now. A lot of Christians and scientists don't get along, bro. Christian faith and science goes hand in hand. You're telling me that all these neurons, the molecular structure, the cellular structure, the blood circling through my veins, the lungs breathing air, the oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, all of these things working together so that we could sit here in this moment. That's kind of magical, bro. This is what I mean. We are robbing ourselves of the wealth of life when we don't sit and contemplate it. It says in the Bible, be still and know that I am God. This could mean nothing to you if you're someone who doesn't have a relationship with God. That's fine. Here's what it means to me. Be still and know that I am God. The word I am, meaning existence or state of being. God. Ancients didn't have the word God. You know what they had? That which runs the all, the creator of all, the thing that runs the thing that makes Saturn and Pluto and Mars spin on perfect orbit. That was their word for God. The thing that makes the birds go, oh yeah, let me go get worms. For the past millions of years. Who the fuck is telling the birds to go get food? Their DNA? Who coded that? That's the word for God. So if I can be still, and I look at a tree right now, I can see a tree outside of my window. And know, I am. Because that tree, and I'm alive, because that fucking tree is pumping out oxygen into the atmosphere, is pumping out the necessary nutrients into the air. I'm not just sitting here by random. That tree and all those birds and everything's working together. And it's here and it's now and it's right there. Think about this. You think I just fucking pressed the button and this live stream is happening? Guys, someone created the first idea that led to this technology. Do you know how many life stories and decisions weaved into personal experience that led to this very moment? That's God. As my Buddhist friend would say, look at God. This is the wealth that I personally believe Jesus is talking about when he says that this is eternal life. When we pause and we're patient and we recognize the beauty of life immediate, not life as we want it to be, but life incarnate as it is. Guys, who the fuck is making our lungs breathe? Did one of you make our brains and all the synapses focus together so that we could tell the difference between the music and in my voice and the words and interpret the words and put them back into the receiver? Bro, do you know how much is happening at every moment to make your life possible? You probably don't, because if you're anything like me, you're too busy sitting on the couch scrolling looking for meaning on this existential crisis devices. This is what we call it, the existential crisis devices. That's we're no longer calling them phones, okay? And if you weren't, if you're just joining now, I love you guys, and you might be like, whoa, I don't know you, bro. If you've ever been lonely, if you've ever been afraid, if you've ever been scared, if you've ever been uncertain of who you are, I know you. We know one another because we have been one another in that form. Take one person that's scared and another person that's scared. You tell me what's the difference between both of them? What they're scared about? Not much, right? When we become our emotions, we take a form. If I'm scared, I'm not going to act like this. If I'm scared, I've taken form, right? My fear has caused me to be jittery and maybe my voice is shaking. It's taken form. So fear takes form in us at times. I'm not a perfect person. Dude, I get scared sometimes. I just scroll on TikTok and I'm like, it's all over. Maybe that's just my FYP because, I don't know. But I'm getting off topic here. Dude, thank you, Ovo. Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's what we're going to start doing. We're going to start doing these lives where I just hop on here and I just start sharing my heart and sharing what I believe to be God's heart for humanity. This is not a condemning message, I hope, to anybody that's listening to this. My faith in God has saved me from so much, dude. It saved me from a life of just being in my head, dude. I spent so much time in my head, and this does not help that. Dude, I feel like my phone, exposed for being Samsung. I used to have iPhone, don't make fun of me. I spent so much time in my head, dude. So much so that it was almost like my own demons were like, you need to go outside. You know what I mean? Dude, I spent so much time alone, even as a kid, dude, that even as a kid, I understood the fundamental need to be seen, heard, and loved, because I love my family. If they're watching this, I love you. However, I grew up very emotionally neglected because of the necessity for a lot of my family to work and make a living. I was just kind of left alone to my own devices, and a lot of my friends were characters in movies. A lot of my friends was the TV. My friend was the TV being kept on at night. That radiation, right? And I think a lot of times loneliness can cause us to want to seek radiation. Now follow me here. Radiation, I mean, cause us to seek poison. The radiation coming from your TV, if volted to a certain extent, actually would be poisonous to you and your body, right? But it's just enough so that it's not killing you. Poison in real life actually works very much the same way. You can take very, very, very small doses of poison, so that's not killing you, so that by the time someone gives you a full dose of it, it doesn't kill you, can make you sick, but you've gotten so used to it, it doesn't harm you, right? And for me, I spent so much time alone that even when I was younger, pornography addiction hit me very young. And just because the internet was so available to me, and curiosity definitely killed the cat, I was very interested in pornography as a neglected child. I was like, hell yeah, this seems like a pretty fun part that I want to be a part of, and reaching well into my 20s, I'd had so much of that radiation that it poisoned me with sickness, where I was very objectifying towards women, and I was very disrespectful towards people, because I saw things as what I could gain from them. and how I felt and how good I needed to feel and how feeling good helped me. It was this very self-centered way of thinking. And loneliness has basically pervaded all of society. I mean, think of like in 2020, the world has never, since the history of our personal Holocene, meaning our own time of just humanity, has never seen a time where we're traumatized. And I'm talking about the lockdown. I mean, this was a very traumatic time for a lot of people. Some people enjoyed it. You know, as an introvert, I enjoyed my time alone, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the collective trauma of like a worldwide event. And like, there's never been a time in history where we're all connected while that's happening. Imagine if they had social media while the Black Plague was happening. Christians would have had a fucking field day back then. They would have been like, Jesus is coming back, the Black Plague is, you know, like, which, you know, we'll get to that in a second, you know. But anyways, because I don't want to joke on that. You know, I really do believe that God is coming back, but we'll get to that at a different time. Right now, I just want to talk about the fact that in 2020, we all experienced just the world stopping and then being together through that. Like we could, like, people were like live streaming, like we're all kind of like losing our minds, like collectively, like, you know, there's some weird shit that was going on, but it was all being documented and all filmed in a way where it was like, Can you name any other time in history where this has happened? No. It's just like how's that knee sweater, man? It's worth buying. Yes, I'll show you guys in a second when I start playing. Which actually, I might start playing that in a second. I know I've been yapping for almost 2 hours. No gameplay. This is really important, guys. We tend to create value out of this idea that if we can get enough money, right, that will escape this life of suffering and this life of need. But that's not even like at all remotely what life is about. Like, I promise you, if you got all the money in the world today and all the people in your life that you cared about died tomorrow, the value of that money would greatly decrease. Like, greatly. I appreciate you guys saying that. And you know what, that's kind of a little bit what we're doing with the channel. We're gonna start taking it, and again, I say this cautiously. I'm not taking away video games. I'm not taking away comedy. Like, we're gonna still be doing all that stuff, but we're refocusing now. Like, when I hop on these lives, instead of just trying to get on here and entertain you guys for 4 hours, 7 hours, however many hours we're doing, I want to create a space where we're talking more openly, talking more honestly, and being more conscious of each other. Like, yes, there's a screen here. Yeah, maybe you're holding your phone or watching through the TV. However you're consuming this, I want to break down that barrier, you know. Reach for the screen. No, I'm just kidding. Jump scare. I want to break down that barrier and allow this to be something that you can feed off of that won't make you sick. Because like I was saying before, when I was young and I was really lonely, the TV was my friend. But the TV, as you know, if you're someone who knows things, is a certain type of radiation that gives off. And it's actually a scientific reason why people like sleeping with the TV on, because it gives off a certain warmth and comfort that you might not have. And as a child, I've really experienced a lot of isolation and a lot of pain and a lot of uncertainty. And TV and movies and any form of escapism was very, very good for me. And by good for me, I mean like I clung to it. It melded with me so instantly. But just like any radiation and poisoning, it poisons you. And a lot of us, like I said earlier, go scroll through anything that you have for just 5 minutes and you tell me what that's feeding you and what that's giving you. And I promise you, without even looking at most of y'all's screens, it's some type of negativity funneled through the lens of capitalism, which is fine. We live in a capitalist society, whatever. We can't change that. But what we can change is our frame of mind as we interact with it. That we, as we interact with a product-driven society, that we ourselves don't become that product, and that we ourselves don't become a vessel of lies and misinformation and negativity that ultimately fuels a garden that cannot give you any life or food to live off of. It just cannot. You become the things you consume. And as cool as they're gonna dress it up, I promise you guys, let me try to get this across. This is for somebody. Somebody really needs to hear this. Whatever you have made to be your God, when things start falling apart, and they will, as life does, because nothing lasts forever, you can't pray to that thing, and you can't ask for that thing to bring those people back. A faith in God is the only thing that you can attain that destruction of life can't touch. Let me say that again. Life is going to be destroyed at some point. We are going to die at some point. Everything fades. This is where Nietzsche's philosophy comes in for a lot of people. Well, everything fades. What's the point of it? The point of it is to be beautiful. And even in the fading, there is beauty. But there's only beauty if we give the space for it and the environment for that beauty to grow. The less space we give it, and the more space we give to things that take, like desire and need, or the false sense of need, the more we'll find ourselves a life empty and devoid of joy. Guys, and this is serious, and the reason why it's serious is because in Canada, they're trying to make it legal so that you can hop into a pod and kill yourself. Unalive yourself, excuse me, whatever. I hope they don't take this down because I said that, but I mean, this is real. They're trying to make a thing where you can hop in a pod and they fill it with chemicals and you peacefully go. People are more willing to trust in the chemical nature of science, which is real, right? But they're more willing to like give in to death than to give into a life full of faith and beauty. Like, please, guys, don't give up on your lives. And if you're listening to this and you're someone that struggles or battles with depression, I beg you to consider what faith might do for your mental state. Because again, I'm not speaking as a youth pastor. I'm not a fucking pastor. I'm not even like necessarily a perfect Christian. Most Christians would reject me because I still, smoke and swear and I struggle with things that most of them would consider unredeemable. Like I still look at porn, dude. Like I'm not like a saint, dude. Like fat juicy asses are a struggle for me, bro. I see one and I'm like, damn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like me having faith in God doesn't like remove my humanity. And I think that that's the problem, is like all these churches and the entertainment of religion has like removed and made common God. Truly. Like, you know how the Bible always talks about like the Antichrist? I feel like the Antichrist is the Christian Jesus sometimes. And that's just my opinion. You can disagree with me. But I truly feel like with the amount of hurt that has come from the Christian church and the amount that people have felt hurt by religion, that the Antichrist that Jesus warns about, and then he says that there's many of them, but I feel like the one that really hurts the world that they talk about in Revelation is this like candy white Christian Jesus. And I'm not trying to like bring race into it. I think that truly like we're all the human race, truly. But I think that like this fake Jesus that's like, I died for your sins, you better stop masturbating, Stephen. Like, nah, bro, like that's not the gospel. The gospel is not, okay. A lot of you have heard the gospel like this, that Jesus died for your sins and God loved you and he gave him up for you, so come on. Like that's like the general consensus. Here's the gospel. God loved you so much that he didn't want you to be alone in the experience of being a human. So he became a human and suffered all of the terrible things that humans have to suffer, so that when you become a human and you suffer, if you believe in him, you can have a life that has joy and purpose. That's the gospel. Or at least as far as I understand it to be. And as you understand that, and as you believe him, as you approach him, he doesn't say, come to me and make sure that you're clean. Make sure you do your laundry for it. Make sure it's all tidied up. No. He says, actually, I see you got some laundry. You mind if I do that? Why don't you go sit down? I got this for you. And you're like, what? Aren't you like God? You're not supposed to do laundry for me. He's like, no, actually, go sit down. I'll do laundry. And you hungry, bro? I'm gonna cook you something. That's God. That's what a relationship with God is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a recognition of the relation and the relationship of a infinite being to a finite man. It is the opening up. It's the opening up of the doorway to say, like, you don't have to be this way. You don't have to do this or that. It's like, no, I can just talk to him. Like back in Jesus' day, they thought that you had to bring like a certain type of animal that did certain type of things, and you had to do wear a certain type of clothes and bring it in a certain place inside of a certain temple so that God could forgive you. And Jesus came to be like, no. You can talk to him. He's right here, right now. And they didn't want him to take away that power that they had by wearing the robes and making people come to the temple. They were scared about what that meant to relieve that power, so they killed him for preaching that message. I'm not here to try to preach at you. If I am unintentionally, that's God's will. And you know what? I just pray that God speaks through me and not just me speaking to you, because I don't care about what you think of me, and I don't care about what I get from this. I care that if there's anyone watching this who's been radically persecuted by religion, who's been radically persecuted by their own mind, I want them to be free from that. And I want them to watch my lives and watch my channel, not just so I can get money. I know I want to do this for my full-time thing, but like, honestly, I'm not going to do this full-time, and I'm not going to make this my job if God doesn't get all the glory, straight up. Like, there's no point. There's no point. Like, who am I to be followed? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just a dude. A dude that really believes in God and who is saved by my faith and relationship in him, and who is passionate about deterring the spirit of religion. I mean, the Bible talks about this. It talks about in the Bible, and you can look this up, guys. It's in the Bible. It talks about how the Bible is not God. It's the law, so it's supposed to show you where you're convicted and where you might be out of line. But it's not God itself. That's God. And there's evidence of God in things other than the Bible, like a tree or like a bird. Because when I look at a bird and I look at a tree, I'm like, damn, I did not create either of those things. But they're functioning in such stability and such consistency, and have been for millions of years. I've only been here for a couple of 20. That's not that long, bro. That tree's older than me. So that tree can tell me a whole lot more about God than some other 40-year-old or some other 20-year-old or some other however old they are. The trees can tell me a whole lot more about God than you can. And then the trees in the form of paper, I also trust a lot more than most other people. I think it's also really important too. I have a big heart for the outcasts, man. Jesus says that he would leave the 99 on the mountain to go save the one lost sheep. And I pay heavily. I need to pay more attention, but I like paying attention to specifically what Jesus says. And if he says that he would leave 99 sheep to go find one, then I want to understand the philosophical heart behind that. Why would you leave 90? How could you trust the other 99 sheep to not get eaten by wolves? How could you trust that you would even find the one sheep? Well, it's not about statistics. It's not about likelihood, probabilities. It's actually about a willingness to move in love rather than fear, to move in love rather than duty, to make your duty to love yourself and those around you. I mean, seriously, guys, it's not that complicated. You get down to the root of it, the philosophical root of what a lot of Jesus was saying. And even he himself would tell you, it was a direct question and ask session with Jesus. There was nothing hidden. They'll always talk about, oh, the books of the Bible are hidden. Listen, I'm going to tell you, man to man, I've read the books of the Bible. They weren't hiding that much. The ones that were hidden, I've read the hidden ones. It's called the Talmud, which is supposed to. A lot of the message of Jesus was ruined by people who just did not believe in him. And they wanted to take the power that they saw him have at that time and make it their own. I believe that. And that's why there's so much contention there. But guys, I'm so passionate about this because I feel like years ago I encountered the real, what I call the real Jesus. I call him Yeshua because that was his actual name. Jesus was they translated that so that they could preach his message to the Greeks at the time. That's actually why we have the name Jesus. But anyways, I'm not a scholar or anything. I'm just a nerd about some loose facts that I remember from the past couple years. But we do so much to discredit things that could actually be good for us. And then we go and consume like pointless trash and then wonder why we're depressed. Like so many people have these like philosophies that they'll spit to you, or their doctrines that they'll spit to you, and it's like, what is this all based off of? And again, Jesus gave the direct blueprint to life. His disciples were like, what is the greatest commandment? We want to know so that we can be in heaven. And he was like, okay, I'll give you the greatest commandment. If you learn nothing else from me, love your neighbor as yourself. Let's break that down. Your English teacher somewhere is crying because nobody has learned how to break down sentences since the 5th grade. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love is the verb. Your neighbor is the noun. As yourself would be the adjective. Or the adverb, excuse me. So if I'm loving them as myself, how am I loving myself? Maybe I asked that question and you just went, I don't know. I don't love myself. I'm filled with dread and I hate myself. Good. You've started it somewhere. You've recognized something. And this is why I think Jesus said it the way he did, because he was so brilliant, being the incarnate Son of God. Love your neighbor as yourself. If you don't love yourself, that's Jesus inviting you into loving yourself. There are beautiful things about you. Let's say you're a guy watching this. You're not even comfortable with the word beautiful being associated to you. Listen, there is a masculinity that is healthy, and it's not the one they've been showing you. It's not this big brawny guy who can lift the strongest and beat everyone up and get the deals and get the money and get the cars and get the hoes. Trust me, I didn't have the cars, but I had a lot of hoes, and let me tell you, it gives you nothing but a lot more problems and insecurities and guilt that you're not going to want to deal with later. Being a man means being the full spectrum, the full scope of expression and discipline. So you can be sad, but just don't let it make decisions for you. You can be angry, just don't let it make decisions for you. You can be happy, just don't let that make decisions for you. For all my addicts out there, I know, I feel you, and I have been you. Don't let it make decisions for you. Don't chase that high, because you're going to chase it long enough and get real tired. You got to love yourself enough to ask yourself, when did you deem yourself unworthy of love? When did you tell yourself that you wasn't worthy of what God has for you? And maybe you watching this, you're unbeliever, like, bro, I don't think God has nothing for me. I don't need nothing from him. That's fine. What do you need, though? You might say, well, I don't need nothing. I don't need nobody. And if that's you, my friend, I'll see you in a couple years. You'll get there eventually. Because we need everybody. We need everybody. I'm just taking a quick second to pause. I know I've been doing a lot of talking. God, I pray for anybody watching this. I pray for anybody watching this that experiences depression. Anybody watching this that experiences anxiety attacks. I pray for anybody watching this that experiences loneliness on a level that is just unbearable. Day in and day out, they just feel empty. They just feel tired. I lift them up to you. I ask that you make them strong and courageous. I ask that you make them see their beauty as you would have it be seen. I pray that in Jesus' name, amen. Listen, man, like, a lot of people don't know how to be beautiful because it's like the beauty in them has consistently been suppressed and depressed by the expectations of others. You feel what I'm saying? So you've come to know your beauty as a burden, and I want to free you from that today. You've come to know your beauty as a burden, and I've come to free you from that today. Your beauty is your excitement for the things you love, is your obsession with the things that you love, is your need to be loved. That's beauty, man. To need love is to be beautiful. All right? Don't ever doubt. We ain't hating on none of the plants for needing water, bro. Love is water for the soul. Authenticity is water for the soul. Communion and fellowship with others is water for the soul. Authenticity is water for the soul. So you gotta start looking at things a little bit less like how they making you feel, and look at what it's doing to help you grow, or what it's adding to your growth. All right? Let's do a little bit of that. And let's just keep going, man. It's a day-by-day thing, because for me, again, I've lived a long time of my life doing whatever I want, saying whatever I want. But I'd rather save my words and my time and my actions for doing things that grows others, that frees them from the prison of their mind, and gives them the freedom to pursue God. God is so real, man. He's so real, man. You just gotta listen for him. He ain't gonna get in your face like that because he's a gentleman, but he in your face all the time. He speak through people. He speak through music. He speak through nature. And yes, he speak through the Bible, but honestly, bro, like, you don't even gotta stress about understanding the whole Bible. Just understand that it will speak to you if you seek it out. You feel me? Like, this is Romans 1:18. It say, for the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men. Now, a normal person will hear that and they'd be like, well, God just don't like sinners. I'm out because I'm unrighteous. Stop. It continues on, it says, who by their unrighteousness, suppress the truth. So he ain't talking about sinners. He talking about motherfuckers that suppress the truth. So if you suppress the truth in yourself, you suppress the truth in the world, you suppress the truth in others, that's who he's talking about. And he say, for what can be known about God is plain to them, because God has shown it to them. For his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world and the things that have been made, so that anybody who don't believe in him is without excuse. For although they knew God, they did not honor God or give thanks to him, but they became futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images resembling mortal man and birds and animals and creeping things. Therefore God gave them up to the lusts of their hearts, to the dishonoring of their bodies among themselves, because they exchanged the truth about God for a lie and worshiped the creature rather than the Creator. All that, if that was a bunch of yapping to you, let me put it like this. The Bible and what Paul is writing in that letter to express is to say this. People that don't believe in God and that are rejected by God do it on purpose. God does not reject you if you don't believe in him. He actually gives you common graces like the breath in your lungs and the beat of your heart and the synapses of your brain and the beauty of the sky and oxygen and nitrogen and hydrogen and all this shit that you ain't never thought about. And all the rotation of the planets that if one of them was off by even a centimeter, we'd be all fucked. But it's all good. We be giving credit to the wrong things. Motherfuckers sit around and talk about the universe told me. The universe told me that. The universe didn't tell you shit. The universe doing what God told it to do. Namely, rotate and give life to its creation that he created. Even the universe recognized God. The universe like, yeah, that's our boss, bro. What you mean? We was created. You gonna believe in the Big Bang and you gonna believe that the universe was created and has a consciousness and not that there was a consciousness that created the universe? Get the fuck out my face. Nah, I ain't even playing with y'all no more. I ain't even really playing with y'all for believing in God. That's crazy, bro. That's what's crazy. And that's what I love about the Bible, man. It starts revealing itself to you when you really seek it out. And that's what I'm saying. It don't matter if you don't understand it. You don't have to. You really don't. Because like I said, you could look at a tree, just like it's saying in Romans, and see the aspects of the invisible God. And everybody who done believed in God, people be like, well, you believe in an invisible God? That's weird. Yeah, well, you believe in fucking rocks, bro. That's pretty weird. Where the fuck did rocks come from? Did you make them? Oh, well, this process happened for millions of years and this. Okay, and then who is overseeing that process? The universe? Shut the fuck up, man. This is what I'm saying. When you really get down to the nitty gritty and you start removing layers of shit, you start to realize it's just the truth suppressed, bro. The Bible is, okay. They would not try to convince you to stop reading something if it didn't give you the answers to some shit. Of course I got the green screen. I'm talking some real shit. Listen, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna end today's live. I'm gonna get back on here in a little bit, but it looks like for some reason our green screen has appeared. This kind of stuff always happens when we talk real shit. But listen to me. If you're watching this and you've been living a life that you just feel lonely, you feel afraid, you feel uncertain, I pray that you would feel the warmth of God's presence right now, truly, bro. And that anytime, and if you're a visitor to this channel, welcome. If you're new, welcome. You don't gotta subscribe, like, you don't gotta participate in the circus of appreciation for me as a person. I'm just a man. You could scroll past this, you could watch this, never consider me a day in your life. But if you're watching this and you still locked in with me right now, I pray for you. I pray that God heals you. I pray that he delivers you from each and every single thing that you're going through. I pray that he blesses your family if you got one around you. And if you don't, I pray that he surrounds you with one, my nigga. Because listen, they're gonna green screen me on YouTube. It's fine. It's cool. I'm still gonna speak the truth. And I'm still gonna speak about my faith in God no matter what. I'm gonna hop back on in a little bit. I want to make sure that I'm ready for my beautiful fiance. She's gonna be coming home, and I want to make sure I have dinner ready for her. So I want to make sure I'm spending time with her. But guys, thank you so much for today. I've been taking a lot of breaks from lives. I've been taking a lot of breaks from doing this channel because I've been trying to figure out how to reframe it. But today, you guys, just by listening and by being present with me, you gave me the freedom, and by the grace of God, the freedom to continue doing this channel. And we're going to be doing more chill cams like this, just chatting, just talking, just being real. I love you guys. What'd you say here, Ovo? If God is like the sun and you only believe in it when you see it, it won't make you through the night. Amen, yo. Damn. Amen, bro. Wow. And how prophetic is that? Moonkid. Because I'm not God. God shine like the sun, and I'm just his reflection, bro. Straight up. Straight up. I'm nothing, bro. I'm just the child of the light that shines in the dark for a couple years. We're gonna be all right. We're gonna be okay. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves. And be excellent to one another. I'm gonna be back on later tonight. I'm gonna see if we can, guys. Actually, before I jet out of here, my good friend Jackalak has started a Twitch and has started a YouTube. I think that the YouTube is waiting a little, make sure I promote them a little bit more. But let's make sure we're following them. But like I said, you guys don't have to participate in the circus of following or liking anything I do. I just pray that you hear God's heart for you and in all that I say and do. I love you guys. Be excellent to one another. Be kind to yourselves. God bless you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.